It's drilled to left field. Is it high enough? See ya! A walk-off grand slam, and the Yankees win.
And he drives one to right field over toward the line. Long run for Laureano, and he runs it, and the Mets win the ball game.
Episode 49 of the Boroughs, and it is the best one of the entire year. We only get to do this episode twice a year, and we absolutely love it. Kevin Bunk, Michael Merlo coming to you every week, talking New York baseball and everything around the world of Major League Baseball. And Mike, tonight, it's our squads. It's our World Series, each of us. Yankees, Mets in the Bronx. Doesn't get any better, and it's so highly anticipated with the Soto factor in this. And I'll be honest with you, even with my Knicks tonight, I'm absolutely jacked for this series.
What on a scale from you have both of these, you got to add it to 100, obviously. What is your scale of intensity in these games here tonight?
If I have to split them out
if you have to split it out of 100.
It would probably be 60-40 Knicks. I'm
Okay.
locked on the Knicks because it's a must-win game.
Right, of course.
Right? And they're looking to advance to a place that I've never seen them go to.
Okay.
But on the other side, I'm not going to sit here, and we're going to have a lot of conversation about Soto today, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and tell you today that Soto doesn't matter to me. But I want to see the Yankees win these games because the Soto factor, I was saying to my friends yesterday, earlier in the year, I was like, why is rivalry weekend not, and we could have a conversation later about this too, but why is rivalry weekend not Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, Mets? Why are they not actually capitalizing on those division rivalries? But for the first time, personally, when it comes to rivalry weekend, for the first time in my life, I actually really care about the Yankees beating the Mets this weekend.
It's funny because, I've always been a fan of the Subway Series, and I feel the juice that it's a bigger game. It feels like more than a regular season game, even though it's not. And technically, the games against the Pirates the other day mattered more in terms of, where you finish in the National League. And a lot of Yankee fans will tell me this, and that's fine, and it's a little brother thing. I don't care. These games always feel bigger, and the place is sold out. And each team, by the way, Mets and Yankees, it's their most attended game. They make the most money from these games. They sell the most tickets. So, whether or not they want to tell you it's just another game and it's not that important, go look at the stadium and go listen to that stadium, because whether Soto's returning or not, it's always a big event, and it's a fun event. And I personally enjoy it because in the middle of a regular season where you have a lot of, dull days playing the Pirates and playing, the Royals for you guys, whoever, these games feel like they matter a little bit more. And it's fun. It's a fun break in the regular action.
And I'll be honest with you, there really was, at least for me, and I think it was for a lot of Yankee fans, there was a time, mainly when the Wilpons owned the team, that I actually did feel like this was an irrelevant throwaway series when the Mets weren't great. The years that the Mets were also really good and the Yankees were really good, it was always fun, don't get me wrong. But the Steve Cohen era added a little juice, but now this Soto thing just completely adds everything. And you think about what happened in the postseason last year. The third best team in the league based on their finish was the Mets. They might have been better than the Yankees last year, but the Yankees got to the World Series and lost. So both of these teams are legitimate bona fide World Series contenders at this point in their development of this group, these cores. So it just adds, it's not like Soto went to a team that is winning, they have 14 wins right now and they just decided to pay him a ton of money. Soto went to a team that if the Yankees want to win a World Series, they might have to beat the Mets in October. So it means more for that too.
It does. Again, I don't think we've never experienced a player of Soto's magnitude leaving, the Yankees in any sense and going across town here. So this means more. Whether a Yankee fan wants to tell you they don't care or they're done with him and they've moved on, this one night at least, the first at bat, I mean, I can't think of another time where this exact situation or similar situation has taken place in this rivalry. And if you can, then let me know. But it feels a lot bigger than usual.
So let's start getting into the deeper roots of the Soto conversation. Juan Soto, top of the first, steps into the box to hit in the Bronx, first time since the World Series last year, but this time he's a Met. How does he get received by Yankee fans tonight?
He's going to hear things he's never heard before. He's going to hear things, and he's going to be like, wait, you could say that? Like, that was said out loud? Yeah, I think it's going to be really bad. I think it's going to be awful. I think it's going to be a crazy amount of boos. I think in the outfield, it's going to be just him being berated by fans. They're going to have extra security out there in the outfield. I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be close to a war zone. I'm not going to any of these games.
Nope, me either.
I would say it was for safety, but it's more financial. But we could go with safety. We could go with safety. I think it's going to be bad. I do.
Do you think there's any chance Mendoza DHs him a game so he doesn't have to stand in right field?
No, I think he had the rest. He had a couple of rests here, actually. So I don't believe that.
Do you see the price of tickets in right?
I haven't. How bad are they?
So if you get up the right field line, there you could get tickets on StubHub right now for $730 up the right field line past first base.
Okay,
that's what you find tickets for close.
Right.
And then the couple rows in the back half of those front sections are like $198. The entire bleacher right field section where the short porch area is going for $670 plus.
Jesus.
So the rest of the stadium is around the regular Subway Series prices that you see at both fields of $150, $160. If you want to sit in right field, you got to fork up $600-$700.
Fans are going to do that. They're going to do that.
It's going to be a madhouse in right field tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have. It's going to be. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually see it. Like, we've talked about it. It's been on the schedule. Obviously we knew when they were playing them for a year now almost, but like to finally have it here, it's exciting. I cannot wait to put on the TV tonight and watch this first at bat and hear it and feel it. It's going to be something.
I'm curious.
The fans that are going to be there, I'm envious of you guys.
I'm curious how this is going to be like a World Series playoff type of atmosphere tonight, specifically tonight. I think the first night of this whole thing. But I'm curious to see how Soto actually performs in this series because I think we're getting one of the extremes. I think we're getting he really struggles and it gets to his head, which is definitely possible. I mean, I know that he's a killer. He's a stone cold hitter in his career, but he said it perfectly. It's 50,000 against one. If that can't possibly take a mental toll on a person over 3 days, just getting hammered for 3 days against the Yankees' three best pitchers too, nonetheless, that's a reason that I could see him having a rough 3 days. But I could also see him having the Mets fan fantasy 3 days where he comes in here, hits 4 or 5 home runs in 3 games, and just absolutely tears the cover off the ball.
It's not 50,000 against one.
It's like 35,000 against
35,000 against,
which is still more than I could handle.
Yeah, no, of course. But he's got his teammates, he's got Mendy, he's got the coaches. Come on, they're all on his back. They all got his back.
When you see the blue collar ravaged steam fitter that just got off his 12-hour shift out in right field, do you think Mendy matters anymore? When this guy wants to kill you in the right field bleachers?
I saw that thing you sent me last night. They got those goons that ripped the ball out of Betts' glove in the World Series. They're bringing them back.
I'm excited for this, man. I'm really curious to see Soto's response. And the way I feel about Soto at this point, I think I've come to terms with it weeks ago. And I was, he did what he wanted to do. And he got $805 million in a contract. And he went to a team and a franchise that's in a great place right now. I might have done the same thing. You never know if you're in that situation, what you're going to do. I probably would have done the same thing as him. It was a big difference in benefits and possibly in happiness for Soto. But you go to this game, and whether you feel that way or you feel complete animosity towards him, you boo the hell out of him.
Well, I understand why the Yankee fan is pissed. And, I think about half of the Yankee fans that are going to be there tonight truly feel hate. They truly feel hate in their heart, because I think there's a certain amount of Yankee fans, and I think the more intelligent Yankee fan that would sit there and say, he was great for us last season. And that was a really fun year. And he was unbelievable in the postseason. And he hit one of the biggest home runs in the franchise's history in the last 10 years. I mean, that's not debatable. Over the last decade, that might be one of the biggest home runs hit in the history of the franchise. To get them back to the World Series for the first time since 2009, he hits that. I mean, I think there are some Yankee fans that will look at that and say, like, you did a lot for us last season. And, I'm going to boo you because the rest of my friends are booing you. But it's almost like a thank you also because you were fun and you were exciting and we had a great time last season.
I think that you do get the mixed cheers in also. I think there's going to be more cheers than you expect from Yankee fans because there is going to be that contingent of people who think exactly what you just said. Who, if the Yankees don't have Juan Soto last year, they probably don't get to the World Series. I know Stanton was great in the playoffs, but Soto was a pretty good sidekick to him during that run.
Yeah.
So the Yankees probably don't get to the World Series. They probably don't. You never know what they do in the offseason, who they add. But so a lot of it's just, speculation. But Soto was a great player for them. He gave us, for our age Yankee fans who really don't have a stake in 2009, he gave us the most fun season we've had as Yankee fans. So I think there will be a bit of cheer for him. And that brings me to the next point. Is there a tribute video for Juan Soto tonight?
I don't think tonight.
Okay.
Tonight, I don't think you get one. I think you'll get one Saturday or Sunday.
But you do think there's going to be one at some point?
Yes. If there wasn't, honest to God, like that would almost be disrespectful. To be completely honest with you.
What if there was a situation? Because I don't know. My friend just sent the text. I don't know if he's watching right now, but he just sent the text on our group chat. Do the Yankees have to give him his Silver Slugger award? Do they have to give him his AL championship ring tonight before the game? Does that stuff have to happen? And I don't know, but I could see a situation where Soto and the Yankees, maybe both behind the scenes, were kind of like, if we could just do the most minimum theatrics for me getting stuff from playing here, that would be awesome. If we could just kind of not celebrate the season from last year for these 3 games, or try to do it a little under the radar.
Right. Like do it almost.
It's like, imagine
do it in the clubhouse.
Exactly. Imagine they have to give him a Silver Slugger award or an AL championship ring. And because some teams do that when players return, but usually to start April or to end March. If you're in one of those opening series, a lot of times teams will do that.
Right.
I could see Soto and the Yankees just being like, even with the tribute video, just if Soto said, I had a great time here last year, but if we could not add fuel to this fire that's going to be there anyways this weekend, I think that might be best for both sides because the Yankees are going to get ripped for a tribute video by their fans because that's how the fans are going to be.
But again, I don't understand that.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But you and I both know if the Islanders did a tribute video for John Tavares, who did objectively more for the Islanders than Soto did for the Yankees. He was there for almost a decade.
But they did
it, and they got ripped for it.
Right.
They had to. And I think the Yankees should tonight. I don't think they have to. I think they absolutely should. Not tonight, tomorrow. I agree with you that they should wait a day or two.
Tonight, you got to understand the situation. Tonight is not the night to do it. No. What the fans are in that building for tonight. Don't do a tribute video tonight. Because if you do, you deserve to get ripped. You do it Sunday, okay, that's fine. It's the last game of the series, whatever. Do it.
And then they did with Nestor, something I could see them doing with Soto, is I was at the game for the Nestor tribute video. It was the day after he pitched. And I think they were going to do it the day he did pitch, but he gave up 3 home runs in the first 3 pitches and just got absolutely bombed. So they didn't end up doing it that day. But I could see them tonight or tomorrow. It was a very quick, 30 to 45 second. And Nestor's a different situation, obviously.
Yeah.
But they gave him a quick one in between innings when people really weren't paying attention. And he just came out and did a tip of the cap, and that was it.
That's not awful.
That I could see them doing with Soto.
I don't hate that. I mean, again, the guy did a lot. And we have a comment here. What if Soto hits a game-winning homer tonight? And, it's not going to sit well tomorrow. Then maybe you got to...
What if he hits a 2-run home run in the first inning?
then you got to do it Sunday, and you got to pray he doesn't kill you on Saturday, I guess.
Our boy Gabe's going to be there Sunday. Gabe, follow at the Playbook on Instagram, play BK.
I kind of think he has to get one. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Tribute video. This is where I'm kind of at too, is it feels a little Metsy to give a 1-year player that didn't win a ring tribute video. It feels like a Scherzer tribute.
Well, you guys are turning into us.
No. Your little brother, your poverty, your team stinks.
You got to pick up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see if they give him one, because he the amount of work he did in 1 year, the amount of production he did in 1 year, is like an average player over 3 or 4 seasons could possibly contribute that much, because he was an MVP finalist. So he could get a good tribute video.
I mean, he loved his time. He's always talked about how much he loved his time there. I think the end of the season press conference rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yep, definitely.
So maybe that could potentially stop them, but I would give him one. I'd give him a tribute video.
Now, I'm just going to take us to an alternate universe. The Yankees won the World Series last year. Soto left. He went to the Mets. Same exact situation went down after, but the Yankees got the ring.
Okay.
Does he get booed tonight? Is the reception any different? What do you think?
He still gets booed, but it's not as bad. You don't go into this feeling like it. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm trying to pick if it's worse or not, that if he won the World Series and left, or if he...
Well, if there's 2 sides to look at it. You could almost say if he won the World Series and left, he got the job done. The trade was great to give up Michael King. It all worked out. But on the other hand, then he looks like the biggest money grabber in Major League history, because you won a World Series, got offered $760 million by the Yankees, and then left.
Yeah, I think...
So there's also the view there that you could hate him.
I think it's less boos. We still have the same feeling going in, but it's less boos because you did get the job done.
And they would probably have to force a ring ceremony pregame tonight.
Yeah.
I would not imagine they did something in the clubhouse or they sent him his ring in the mail. Just no way.
That's interesting.
It's a great point. Cano did not get a tribute video.
How did Cano not get a tribute video?
Did not get a tribute
video. How
video.
did he not get a tribute video? How is that possible?
Yep, because there was a lot of hate towards Cano for leaving too, but the Yankees really didn't even try to get him back.
How do you not give him a tribute video?
There was a lot of hate for Cano leaving. And there's
Won
way
a World
more.
Series.
Won a World Series. And, I mean, statistically, he was the best hitting second baseman with the Yankees for years and years.
I don't get that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so you know what?
Maybe the Yankees are the complete opposite of the Mets in terms of tribute videos.
I agree here. I think this is where I'm at
enough.
At the end of it is, I don't think he gets one. If he does, I'm not going to be one of the Yankees fans that get pissed.
Okay.
But that is what it is. And it is up to Steinbrenner. So we'll see what Steinbrenner decides to do tonight with a tribute video.
That's
if Soto gets
his
one.
Call. That's completely his call.
Yep. And I think it is. I think isn't everything kind of his call?
I'm not sure.
He's the man. He's the best owner in baseball.
That's not true.
He's going to make the call. All right. What else do we have today? A lot of stuff on the docket for Subway Series stuff. Mike, is this the biggest Subway Series since this is a good one? Torrens. I'd cheer the Torrens AAA highlights.
Let's go. Good comment, Luke.
Make the tribute video with the cash you got for him.
Yeah.
We've kind of alluded to it already. Is this the biggest Subway Series ever, excluding the World Series? Biggest regular season Subway Series ever?
No. I think the ones after the World Series, you had the Clemens rivalry with Piazza still. I thought a couple of years ago in 22, when it was the first time those two teams had played in first place,
Yeah.
I thought that one had a ton of juice. I mean, now you still have that, and now you add the Soto thing. I would say this is second behind the ones after the World Series with the Clemens and Piazza rivalry. Those were all time because of, it was new and they just played in the World Series. So I would say that.
I think they dropped the ball too with not having this series the weekend of 9/11 every year. I thought that was a really special one, the Lindor Stanton weekend. Obviously, I know that was because it was a 20th anniversary series, but still, I think having it this weekend and having it 4th of July weekend, I think, are the two weekends they have these games this year. Maybe the weekend after 4th of July, but I think 9/11 was a really good series when you got those teams together, had the NYPD, FDNY hats on, and played that way. It had a lot of juice, had a lot of excitement, and it was definitely done in really good taste. I think they drop the ball doing that every year. But back on the comment of tribute videos, we obviously had the Terens one. I had written down, I'm just curious, does Clay Holmes get one? He doesn't pitch this weekend for the Mets. Holmes was a multiple-time All-Star closer for the Yankees for a few years. I think beloved by Yankee fans in retrospect. I know he had the bad year last year, but I think most Yankee fans have an appreciation for Clay Holmes' time with the team and that he's a great guy. And his departure was obviously not in any bad taste, going to the Mets to become a starter. Do you think Holmes gets a little video popped up?
Imagine that's what they do. Imagine, like, all right, everybody, attention to the big screen, and it's a Clay Holmes tribute video. Probably. You're probably right. He probably gets one.
I think he does.
You're probably right.
Because they didn't even want him back, so there's no trouble there at all.
But I feel like if you're giving Holmes one at that point, I think Hal's just going to say, let's throw something.
Do the Yankees have any former Mets on their team right now? Carrasco waived.
Yeah. Cookie.
I don't think so.
No. I don't think
Mets
so,
are just Yankees farm system. Just all our crappy players. All our quadruple A players.
That's not true.
Guys, I mean, the Holmes, everyone's shooting down the Holmes right away. Come on.
Nobody likes the Holmes.
30-second Holmes tribute, couple saves.
He's on a lot of postseason teams.
He was, for 2 years, he was a really good closer.
Yeah, I could see
a really good relief pitcher, because the first half of the first year, he was not really this solidified closer.
I mean, I still think Soto's getting one. So, like, if I think Soto's getting one, then Holmes is getting one. So,
are we in agreement that Holmes is more of a... Because this is, I think, the consensus in the comments is that Holmes is not the primary candidate for a tribute video. I think Holmes might get priority over Soto.
Just because he played, literally just because he was there for longer. That's it. That's the only reason.
He was good with the Yankees too. He didn't stink with the Yankees.
No, he had those.
I know he did in the last year, but
dominant seasons. I could see it. But again, I see Soto getting one.
What about Frankie Montas? While we're just handing them out here, is Montas getting one off the bench?
Montas, give a wave. Give a wave to the Yankee fans. I don't even think he's in the dugout. I don't even think he's traveling with the team.
I don't think you could come up with like 8 videos of Frankie Montas to put together a 30-second tribute. I don't even think you could.
Him just getting shelled.
Yeah, Holmes was an all-star in 22. He was an all-star last year, which was ridiculous. But he had a 2.5 ERA in 22. He had a 1.6 ERA in half a season in 21. In 23, he was 2.8. And then last year, it was 3.1 ERA out of the pen. 21 and 22, he definitely got some good memories or some good run out of Holmes, at least.
Nice. You get the Holmes, ready? You get the Holmes Soto videos back to back. And then right after, they throw Terens on the screen, and it's give a wave, Luis. That's perfect. I love it. I can't wait.
Holmes had 74 saves in 3 years for the Yankees, so maybe we'll see.
They're both. My prediction is, and it's not tonight. They both get one. They both get one.
Okay. Holmes will get one of those Nestor ones that I described, though, because he's not pitching.
100%.
So he'll just get a quick flash.
But I don't think Soto's getting one before the game. I think it's kind of the same situation. The Yankees will try and hide it. They'll try and bury it.
Yep, as they should. If you're gonna do one, if you feel like you have to do one, you should bury it.
They're a classy organization. They'll do it.
Classiest. This is first class baseball.
Not with the security guard outside with the family.
That's not a true story. That was a Boris Plant story. So obviously a Boris Plant story.
Yeah. I heard that it was fake, actually.
Let's move to a topic that we had a conversation about yesterday. It was an interesting tweet. I think Max Manus tweeted it from John Boy, but he said you can add one player since 2000 to the Yankees, and he said maybe Garrett Cole. I think that's ridiculous. But let's have the conversation of you can add one player to the Yankees or Mets since 2000. Who would it be in their prime? And I'll let you start with your guys.
Yeah, so... Oh, you want me to start with the Mets?
Yeah. If you
okay,
like
so...
or the Yankees, whatever you want.
No, I was going to start with the Yankees. All right, we'll start with the Mets. I think there's two obvious answers. Mm-hmm. One of them, obviously, is Jacob deGrom, who still is just... Great start last night, by the way. Love it. Love deGrom still.
Yeah, how about this Barry Bonds poll? That's not the game. That's definitely not the game that we're playing.
I don't even know who B is right now.
He knows you.
Yeah, definitely. The other one for the Mets that I think is kind of obvious is Beltran. You add a center fielder. Beltran was a really good Met as much as it wasn't pretty at the end. I think Beltran.
Yeah, I wrote down 3 names for each team, and I had DeGrom, Beltran, and David Wright. I don't think that there's any other possible answer for Mets fans to add to this team, and I would go with DeGrom or Beltran on this one. I would go DeGrom because Prime DeGrom is just an unbelievable starter. I do think the Yankees the Mets could still use, I know their pitching stats and everything and what they've done, but come on, you're telling me you can't add Jacob deGrom?
No, you had an ace
yesterday.
You had an ace. I think Beltran over Wright. You know what's funny? I didn't even think of Cespedes.
I thought of Cespedes. I'm taking Beltran over Cespedes because Cespedes, I know how great he was in 2015, and I was a huge fan of his, but Beltran's 2006 season is just a part of more of a longevity career than Cespedes had with the Mets, so that's why I lean towards him. I also trust his defense way more in center.
And the need right now, like Wright is not a need. I mean, you have 2 third basemen.
Yeah.
Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty. I mean, you don't need third base right now. You have a need in center field. I don't feel the massive need for Piazza. So I think it would be Beltran or deGrom, and I agree. I would lean deGrom.
For the Yankees, I had written down 4 names. I had 3 for the Mets, 4 for the Yankees. A-Rod would definitely be my choice after thinking about it for a while last night, but I don't think you can go wrong either with Mariano Rivera. I don't think you can go wrong with Roger Clemens, and I don't think you can go wrong with Robinson Cano if you wanted to add him with their a lack of a second baseman right now with Chisholm out.
Yeah, so I had and why can't I ever find the postseason stats on Baseball Reference? I had A-Rod obviously as the first one. Mm-hmm. And then a pitcher I had thought of when I had mentioned this to you was I thought of CeCe.
Yeah.
I thought of CeCe. So it's obviously A-Rod, Clemens, sure. CeCe was a big game pitcher in his prime. So it's A-Rod or CeCe for me. I
definitely think there's a case for Mariano Rivera, though, the way Devin Williams has
no, because you have Luke Weaver.
Yeah, but I need another guy. Williams stinks.
No, usually you don't need 2 closers like that.
I'm done with high leverage Mark Leiter.
Let's go. Come on. Add Clay Holmes from 2 years ago.
What about Soto? Can I add Soto?
Yeah, he put him in left. Add more to that crowded outfield.
Josh Donaldson?
Yeah.
We need a third baseman. 2019 Urshela.
A
lot of good choices. IKF.
I just saw IKF in person.
What was that IKF Ralph Kiner thing?
They're like 4th cousins.
And I know, but like his Ralph Kiner's son. All right. They're family. I'm not trying to insult them at all. They're family.
Here we go.
If he's never met Ralph Kiner's son, is there really a connection to Ralph Kiner besides the first part of your last name?
No, it's cool. It's whatever. I personally don't care. Like, I saw it and I was like, all right, whatever. And they like made it a story too.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it, because it would have just been a one-off thing whenever they did that. Cool.
It's like front page of MLB.com. I was like, all right,
yeah.
enough.
IKF stinks.
He had a homer the other night.
Ralph Kiner would not want to be associated with IKF's on-field play.
Not the first at-bat after he met him.
He would make him change his name to Isaiah Falefa.
No.
And just get rid of the Kiner.
That's disrespectful.
He would.
It's disrespectful to IKF, who's still grinding in the league. You're not grinding in the league. He is.
I mean, not much more than I am, though.
Come on.
All right. Well, Yankees Mets Subway Series tonight. How about the pitching matchups this weekend? I think this was a pleasant surprise, because we had said on Tuesday when we did the show, I didn't think Fried was going to go this weekend. I thought it was going to be Rodon, Schmidt, Yarborough. They end up going with Fried. He has enough rest pitching Tuesday to Sunday. So it's McGill versus Rodon tonight, Canning, Schmidt tomorrow, Peterson, Fried on Sunday. I think, statistically, you obviously have three good pitchers for the Mets, and this is probably going to totally backfire on me. I think great advantages for the Yankees in two of those three games.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees treating this like it's their World Series and move their race up.
No, the Mets literally load managed.
It is
before a day off. The Mets load managed before a day off for this series.
Well, there's no reason for Soto to be playing in a wet outfield at Citi Field in a game against the Pirates where you're going for a sweep. There's no reason for him to be out there. That's all I'm saying. And I was at the game. I was at that game. Okay, yeah. That's diehard. We're getting rained on, getting pissed on in a 4-0 game against the Pirates in May. Okay,
all right, yeah.
That's diehard fandom. And
you are diehard. You love this team. They don't love you back.
They didn't love me back the other night, but yeah, the pitching matchups, they're fine. I mean, I don't trust McGill tonight, but usually when I don't trust McGill, he gives me a good start. So I don't trust him. And I'm not just saying this. Like, I don't trust him tonight, but he usually gives me a good start.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little fishy with Rodon tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, with this lineup, I mean, come on.
It actually has nothing to do with the lineup. It has everything to do with Rodon.
It's a nice test for him.
Yeah, it is.
He's been good. He's been real good. What was his last start?
His last start wasn't very good.
And the start before that was the Padres, the really good start that they lost.
His last start was the A's start, gave up 4 earned. He bounced back, though. It was a tough start in that one. He ended up with 10 strikeouts, gave him 6
minor
innings.
league stadium.
They lost that game, though. That was the bad bullpen implosion. Yankees went up 7-6 or 7-5 late, and they lost 11-7.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one game they lost this weekend. But he's been good. He was great against San Diego. The Yankees wasted that start. He gave him 6 2/3, no earned runs.
In the middle of a rain delay.
Yep. And then he was great against Baltimore, great against Cleveland, great against Tampa. The Baltimore, Cleveland, Tampa, way better lineups than the Mets. So,
you know what I just remembered? I had a dream last night that Fernando Tatis got traded.
He didn't.
I know, but I had a dream that he did.
To what team?
It was a red team. I don't remember.
Reds.
I don't know.
Probably the Reds.
It's probably the Reds. It was a red team.
Could have been the Red Sox. We were texting about the Red Sox last night. So
they stink.
They're terrible.
Oh my
We're going to talk about that. We got a good around the league segment today too.
They stink.
Good around the league segment due up later. Some good hot topics. But yeah, they're terrible. Are you going to go to any of the Subway Series games in July?
Yeah, I'll go to those.
Okay.
If I wasn't going to Boston, I'm going to Boston Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Mets Red Sox. So if I wasn't going to Boston, I would go probably Sunday night to the Met game, but I can't.
Yep.
Can't make it work.
Yeah. That's a good point. What days are you going to the Mets game in Boston?
Monday, Tuesday.
Those better be 2 wins. The way this squad's playing.
It could be 2 wins. You know what? You know what would be if the Knicks lose tonight? You know what would be Monday night.
All right.
No,
Sunday night. Sunday.
No, Monday night.
Sunday night.
No, Monday night.
Really?
Monday night in Boston.
I thought it was.
I will be there to defend you.
It's not going to happen. It's
I
not
will
going to happen.
be there
We're winning
to
tonight.
defend you and your people. Your
How
Knicks
does
fans.
how does the Knicks game affect the Subway Series tonight? Is everybody on their phones at this game? Are they putting it on the jumbo? Is everybody cheering when the Knicks inevitably win?
They're not putting it on the jumbo. They'll put score updates. They're not putting the game on the jumbo, obviously. Yeah. I think you'll have a decent amount of fans there that are tuned into their phone or walking up to a bar because they'll put it on the bar. Mm-hmm. In the clubs at Yankee Stadium, they'll put the game on. They'll be locked in. I mean, but you know what you're getting into going to this Met Yankee game. It's different than the Met Pirate game yesterday, where the club that I was in, they literally every TV had the Knicks Celtics game on, and it did not have the Mets game on. So it won't be like that, but you're going to have a decent amount of people tuned out of the Yankee game.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's an easy sellout still for the Yankees. I know some people have mentioned that maybe it's not, but I think that there are more baseball fans in New York than basketball fans. I think that's
I don't know
misconception about the city. I do.
I used to think that, and the way these Knicks fans have come out of the woodworks here, I don't know. They are obviously New York's team. They are New York's team.
Absolutely.
They unite the city in a way that no other team does. I don't really even know who's second, to be honest with you, at this point. Like I don't know who would be second. Maybe the Rangers.
I think
the Giants.
I think it might be the Giants. Just because the Rangers have probably the largest split of the rest of the teams with the Islanders. It's probably closer to 75% Ranger fans.
Just not enough fans.
Yeah, that's 75% Ranger fans is not enough Ranger fans.
I think it's probably right now. It's probably Giants.
It's probably the Giants, and that's a crazy one too because the Jets in New York, New Jersey probably have more fans than a couple of these other teams.
Yeah,
because of how big football is. But the Giants are arguably the most followed team in New York. I don't know how you would figure that out, that data, but the Giants might be the most paid attention to team in New York because of how, just based on the amount of total people, not percentages or anything, because of how many football fans there are in America.
Right.
And I agree with this too. More than 75% of New Yorkers are not Giants fans, and they're not Jets fans either. You have so many Cowboys, Steelers, Packers fans, just like all over. Patriots fans, just you have the football bandwagons are all over.
Let me change this subject for a second.
Of course,
you're at the Yankee game tonight. Somebody gave you free tickets to the Yankee game. You're locked into the Yankee game, at the game.
Yeah.
Is the Knick game on your phone?
Absolutely.
Because you're a good mix. You're a good mix here. Diehard Yankee fan.
Absolutely on my phone.
You're locked into this Subway Series, but you're a Knicks fan, and you're a win away.
No, my priority tonight is definitely the Knicks. Because if the Yankees, put it this way, the Yankees lose and the Knicks win, I'm electric tonight.
Right.
If the Knicks lose and the Yankees win, I'm pissed and I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's where my priority is. If both win, this is greatest day of my life. If
both can't win though. Both can't win though tonight because of what Gabe has said here.
Yes, I just wanted to bring that up.
Media.
Gabe, I don't know if you saw this, Mike. Did you see this?
I did see this.
Yeah, so this is cool that the Knicks and Mets have had the same outcome of every night they've played simultaneously, and it's been this entire Boston series, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
so you need a Mets win tonight. You need a Mets win tonight.
Yeah. If I got to sign on the dotted line for Mets win tonight, Soto walk-off grand slam, the Knicks win, where do I sign? Let me know where I can make that happen.
And I'm good. Like, here, take the paper. I need that.
What do the Yankees have? 120 games left. The Knicks might have 2. Like, I need them to win this game tonight.
And I need the Mets to win this game tonight.
Then let's do it. Then let's win both.
To win this series is what we need to do. Come on.
Oh, I'm so nervous. All right, big night tonight. When I get home, I'm working at 5. When I get home around 7:30, It's Knicks on the TV, Yankees on a smaller TV that we will bring in and watch. That's the way it's going to go.
Okay.
Because
Locked
it just means more. The Knicks mean more.
Of
Brunson's
course.
the king of New York. How am I going to put the king of New York on the small TV?
He's not the king of New York.
Yes, he is. If
No,
they win
he's
tonight, he is.
If they win the finals, he's the king of New York.
If they win tonight, they might. So,
okay.
They might. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying
Okay.
if they win tonight, they might.
Okay.
And if Judge wins tonight, doesn't make me feel any better about his chances at the World Series.
Judge is still the king of New York.
He is. Absolutely.
Next, Beatty.
Rodon take the subway to the Garden after he gets shelled tonight. Imagine Rodon, the booze, if Rodon showed up at the end of a Knicks loss after giving up 6 runs to the Mets in a loss. What's his career versus the Mets look like?
I don't even know how many times they faced him.
You're lucky you don't get. I mean, we're lucky you don't get Garrett Cole this weekend. Rodon, career against the Mets, 2-0 with a .8 ERA.
Well, that'll be going up tonight.
2022, he gave him shutout San Fran at New York Mets, April 20th. 8 Ks, no runs, 5 innings.
Pretty sure
last year he did give him the best, or 2 years ago, excuse me, he did give him the best start. I do remember that game, 5 2/3, 1 run.
You know what's funny? I don't remember any of the 2023 games.
Really?
Yeah. I was so checked out of that year. I was so pissed.
Yeah, this was a Rodon win, saved by Clay Holmes on July 26th. Mets beat the Yankees 9-3 in Game 1. Yankees won Game 2 in that series at Yankee Stadium. Let's go. Let's go around the league. You ready for around the league here?
I'm ready to go around the league.
All right, a couple good topics of conversation around the league. Let's start. We alluded to them already, so I just want to start in Boston. Red Sox really struggling. Bullpen's terrible. They can't pitch at all. We had the Devers thing, which we forgot to talk about last week. We still haven't touched on it, but I'll let you go whatever path you want to with the Red Sox, who are one of 4 AL East teams under 500.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys in this lineup. Obviously, Devers is hitting. Willie Abreu's been unbelievable. Alex Bregman's having an MVP-like season. And there's other guys hitting as well. Christian Campbell's been good since coming up. And the pitching is just completely holding them back. I mean, Garrett Crochet's been, a Cy Young candidate. And then you look at Tanner Houck and the rest of these guys. Sean Newcomb is still in this rotation. I mean, it is how and I blame myself because I did pick this team to represent the American League in the World Series. How I let myself do this and how the Red Sox went into this season with this pitching staff and to have this kind of depth here. I know they're dealing with injuries, but to go in with this kind of depth, it's disgusting. And the bullpen is awful. Awful.
And you flash back 6 weeks. We did have a conversation about this pitching right before the season started. I was very skeptical of it.
Yep.
But if you said Garrett Crochet is 4-2 with a 1.9 ERA and he's one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball, Red Sox fans have to be feeling great about that. Nobody else has been good. And nobody else has even been decent.
I mean, it's him, Skubal, and Fried in a top 3 for the Cy Young right now. I mean, it's a close race. I mean, as good as Fried's been, Crochet's been just as good.
It's not a close race.
Crochet's got a 2.16 ERA plus. What is
Tigers and Red Sox would trade Skubal or Crochet for Fried 1-for-1. Easy.
No, they wouldn't. Oh wow, Max Fried's ERA plus is 3.60.
Yeah,
wow,
no,
maybe it's not close.
All jokes aside, Fried is just his stats are almost better than you think when you watch him pitch, and he's been awesome to watch.
Somebody said the other day, like it's not being talked about enough, like how good of a start he's had.
Because he's been better than Skubal. Skubal's the guy you want. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But he's been better than, and all these Red Sox fans the whole offseason, even when Cole was healthy, trying to tell me the Red Sox have the best pitcher in the AL East. They never had the first or second best when Cole was healthy. And Crochet's great, but Fried's a monster. Fried's having the best year of his career.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be tough to keep this up. It's going to be an interesting race down the stretch with those 3 lefties, though. It will be fun to see.
Do you think it's panic time for the Red Sox and their fans because you look around this American League, as much as the teams aren't overly impressive, there's a lot more winning records than you would have thought if you told somebody the AL East has 4 teams with losing records at this point.
Well, listen, I could go around and ask them next week. I'll go around and I'll ask them the state of their team. It'll be interesting to get the vibe being there this week because it's been disappointing because there's a lot of hype. I mean, these fans finally felt like they were in it, and they felt like they had a chance, a real shot, because the owner started spending money, and the offense is good. It's good enough. It has to be panic time. It has to be panic time because a lot of other things are going right. They lost Casas for the year. And then obviously, I mean, this Devers stuff, I mean, it is not good either. So and he's been hitting incredibly well, but
the biggest issue with the Devers thing for me is that, like you could say whatever you want and stuff, but the way it's gone public and pairing that with the team's performance to this point, it just adds an element that doesn't have to be there for them. It's just the fact that noise is added to already a disappointing season, a disappointing start. It's just such a useless piece of attention for the Red Sox organization. Yeah,
100%. It makes him look bad. And the Red Sox don't want that. The Red Sox don't want to make a homegrown guy look this poor, but he's doing it to himself. And I don't get on I've seen a lot of people take the side of the Red Sox. I mean, for the life of me, I can't understand that. I mean, you pay this guy $300 million. Yes, okay, it was to be the third baseman. And now you ask him to move to DH. And now you have a need at first. And you think you can play first. So why don't you try it? I can't, for the life of me, defend Devers here at all.
I totally agree with you. It's tough to come to the defense of Devers. If he's frustrated, that's one thing, but to blatantly not do it and speak badly about the organization and the general manager on a few different occasions, that's where I think he crosses the line. Back to Max Fried for a second. Pitching Sunday, so I was curious to look at his career versus the Mets. Obviously pitched a lot against them in Atlanta. Sure. He's only had one bad start against the Mets in 23 appearances.
I actually remember the bad start.
2019. 5 runs in 5 innings.
I don't remember the bad start then. I thought it was closer.
5 runs in 5 innings. He gave up his next worst start, if we're just factoring in earned runs. I'm sure he's had a bad start that doesn't show up in the box score. But 2022, in August of 2022, maybe that's what you're thinking of, but he gave up 2 runs over 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 runs.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about.
It's probably the one you're thinking about. But his last 2 starts against the Mets, he's pitched shutout games, 7 innings, 5 innings. He had that no-hit 7 innings 2 years ago, or last year in May, and got the win. So he's, in his career overall, 9-5 with a 2.4 ERA and 113 strikeouts, 23 outings.
He's never faced the Mets with Soto, though, so.
No, but that lefty doesn't matter. Soto can't hit lefties.
Okay.
I just decided that.
All right, yeah.
Not Sundays. You're not going to touch Rodon. He's probably sit him one of these 2 games.
Yeah, should.
Rodon or Fried.
He needs an extra rest day.
Schmidt, too. Schmidt's got Soto's number, too. A lot of BP, live BP at bats last year.
Yep. The stats aren't good.
No, it's going to be a tough series for him.
Yeah.
Also around the league, should the Pirates trade Paul Skeens? There's a case to be made. Jeff Passan brought this up, but there is definitely a case to be made. The Pirates really desperately need more position players. You'd get the biggest prospect haul in season in Major League history right now. And the bottom line is the team's awful with him pitching great. What are they if they get rid of him for 5 or 6 really promising players? I'm not saying they should do it. Just a fun conversation to have.
It's a fun conversation that we shouldn't be having. It's a conversation because the owner is so bad. The owner is such a POS that he won't spend money and he thinks he's doing a good job. And I mean, he's come out and said this. They fire the manager. The manager didn't deserve to be fired. Mm-hmm. This is the GM and the owner's fault. Mostly the owner, who doesn't allow the GM to spend any money. They believe they put a good team on the field this year. I don't know how or why they thought that. It's a joke. And you shouldn't be sitting here saying that it is a good idea because, of course, like it makes sense, but we shouldn't be having this conversation. I mean, this is a player that should be a lifelong Pirate. And now we're sitting here saying they should trade him. This guy could be an all-time great pitcher, for crying out loud. You don't trade guys like this. You build around guys. You build around young staffs like this. And they do have a good pitching staff.
Yeah, it's just, their prospect pool is league average. He's got to be miserable there too, Skeens. I mean, there's writings on the wall for how your career is going to go in Pittsburgh. The team's hasn't been good. When's the last time the Pirates, we actually sat here and said this team could compete not only for the division, but for a title? I don't even think it really was during the McCutchen years.
Probably like the Johnny Cueto wild card game then, maybe.
Like that's literally the peak that the Pirates have
12
had.
years. It's like 12 years ago.
That's the peak they've had in decades.
Yeah.
This is as bad an organization as any in the league, and I don't think it gets talked about enough either nationally, because they are grouped right in with Colorado and the White Sox for bad ownership and just a miserable existence.
No, it's disgusting. It is disgusting, and nothing's going to change unless this owner sells the team, and he can't force him. You can't force him to sell the team. He's here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting comment. What are you going to trade Skeens for? A pitcher won't be as good. I don't think you're trading him for pitchers. I think you're trading him to a team like Boston or LA who have good farm systems and could use the cost-controlled superstar pitcher, and they have good lineups already also. And you're saying, I want your 3 best prospects, I want an MLB-ready arm, and I want, 5 or 6 other prospects for Skeens that aren't really high-level guys, but we can maybe do something with.
It would be the Soto trade, essentially. I mean, it would be that kind of level, probably more so than the Soto trade.
Yeah, I think it would be even bigger
because of how many years of control you have. And
for whatever reason, the pitcher a lot of times can get more value. The star ace can get more value than the star hitter.
Well, especially when you're not paying them.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not paying them, yeah, that pitcher, that's one of the more valuable pieces you could grab.
Like, what if they called up Boston and you get on the phone and you say to Breslow, listen, I can give you the best 1-2 in Major League Baseball for the next decade with Crochet and Skeens. But I want Roman Anthony. I want Marcelo Mayer. I want I don't think Christian Campbell's a guy you can touch in that deal because you're really getting counterproductive at that point.
Yeah.
But you say you want those 2 guys who are 2 of the best prospects in all of baseball, and you throw in, your top 2 or 3 pitching prospects who are also top 10 guys for them. I don't know if that's unrealistic.
Brian Bayo, maybe a major league arm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
guy.
Completely unrealistic for 2 things. I don't know if it's unrealistic for Boston to not bite at, and I don't know if it's unrealistic for the Pirates to not build a better future.
I don't think I would do it.
The problem, too, is
if I was Pittsburgh, I don't think I would do it.
Imagine the fans when you trade Paul Skeens for 6, 7, 21, 19-year-olds who aren't ready to play right now.
It's not going to go over well.
No, but, that's the team that I think they could do it with if we're in the hypothetical world of Paul Skeens is getting traded.
You like the hypothetical world. The hypothetical world's fun.
That's where I like to live.
Don't trade Skeens, though.
Just don't trade Skeens.
Spend some freaking money. How about that?
Yeah, and how about, last thing I have on Around the League, this freaking AL Central, man.
Can't believe it.
This AL Central.
Can't believe it. You scared?
It's definitely something to watch for, because now they do have the first team that I feel is better than the Yankees with the Tigers.
Yeah.
And Gleyber Torres has been hitting really well. Javi Baez has been hitting really well. And then you look through the rest of this division, I think Kansas City's really good. Cleveland doesn't scare me ever, but they're there. Minnesota, 4 games over 500 now after sweeping Boston. They're 6-0 against Boston this year.
Baltimore,
Excuse me.
You've never had a better take. You've never had a better take in your life.
No, the Baltimore take is just aging like fine wine.
It's unbelievable.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen with this team.
It's terrible. They're a joke.
They're
I actually like rooting against them too. It's fun.
Well, I saw somebody tweet yesterday. It was a Yankee fan tweeted, and I kind of felt the same exact way. He said, the Orioles got this really exciting young core in a good baseball town after being so bad for so long. And I kind of rooted for them to be good.
Right.
But then they had 1 year where Judge got hurt and the Yankees didn't make the playoffs and they didn't win the division. And the Orioles won it. They got swept in the first round by Texas. And all of a sudden, their fans got so high on their future and their team that now I actually love to see them fail.
You're into this. So, I mean, it's weird that you felt that way in the first place.
Yeah, it was just a weird
that you like liked them. That you were like, let's root for them.
It was a weird position of, I don't mind this being the next rivalry in the AL East. Somebody's going to be good. If it's us in Baltimore, I think that's cool because they haven't been in a while. And I have a soft spot for the Orioles' history as a franchise and for their fan base. I think they have a really good fan base.
I haven't been to that stadium. I got to get to that stadium.
I haven't either. I hear mixed reviews now, though. It used to be everything's great about it. Now I hear
I've heard great things.
Yeah, but yeah, that might be my best take in a very long time. I don't have many, few and far between.
Sure.
But Orioles and last, and I was getting near death threats on TikTok for that.
You were. That was bad.
The roster is not good. Charlie Morton was their second pitcher. What do you go, 0-6, 0-7?
The fans were not happy with you.
No, and I'm going back to that video in a month or two when they're 40 games out. And
you're going to repost it?
You guys suck. I already have a lot of plans for that clip, what I'm going to do with it. And, I was wrong. Right now, it feels very wrong on Cincinnati. 3 games under, but it's just,
let's replay that one.
We're not going to replay that one. It just feels like, they're not going to be in the mix this year. Year or two down the line with Francona, let them build this up. Then, yeah, Cubs are good too. So, no, Cubs take we were wrong on. We were down on the Cubs big.
Yeah, my Milwaukee take doesn't look great either.
Yeah.
We were all over the place in that division.
We were.
All over.
Oh, yeah. Milwaukee, they're only 2 games under, though. They could come back and make a run at that. St. Louis, what's the deal? I know they're 9-1 in their last 10. They got really hot, but they got a plus 31 run differential this year. 24-20.
Do you actually believe though? Do you actually believe in that?
No,
team?
but when I look at it now, it makes it so important to win your division in the National League from the Mets' perspective because you don't really know right now how the rest of this is going to shake out because you have Philly and Atlanta both bargaining for playoff spots. The Cubs, Cardinals, and one of the Brewers or Reds, I think, will be a game or two above 500 at the end of the season.
Yeah, but this is not going to be a competitive. These teams in the Central are not going to be competing for these wild card spots. They're just not.
But then you look at the 4 teams in the NL West, and I can't keep pushing the Giants under the rug. They're 25-19 now.
I can't.
I'm done with it. Plus
no,
37
I'm done.
on the year.
I'm done.
Done with what?
I'm out on the Rockies. I mean, on the Rockies, on the
Rockies.
Giants.
Oh, wow, really? What a hot take. I'm out on the Rockies. Wow. What was it? The 36th loss in 40 games?
I'm out on the Giants. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they have a chance at this playoffs here, at this wild card.
I think that they have a chance to play a little spoiler down the stretch.
They play spoiler. I don't think they're going to be one of those teams.
You got to think about it. If they stay at 6 games over 500 for the rest of the season, and we're sitting here September 1st, September 2nd, and they're 2-3 games out if they're 6 games over 500, or they're in the final spot. Now, who's to say that the Phillies or Braves or Padres, Diamondbacks don't have a little injury or a little cold spell that just kills them?
I think you're underestimating how good the top of the NL wild card is going to be. 6 games over is not going to be what we're looking at.
Well, I'm curious at what point someone's going to start losing games. There's no way we have 90.
The Giants have started to lose games.
I know, but there's no way we have 90-win teams in the wild card.
No, but I mean, the Mets won 88. The Braves were at 89 last season.
Yeah, it's true. Because I really always get clouded by those first 2 years where the Phillies and Diamondbacks made it 5 or 6 games over 500.
You're gonna have
Diamondbacks won 84 games 2 years ago.
You're gonna have big time win totals in this wild card. You just are.
Yeah. Do you think right now, Yankees 25-18, Red Sox 22-23 in second place? Rest of the teams just aren't that good. Do you think the Yankees are the most comfortable division winner at this point in the season? They have the biggest lead. 4-game lead is the biggest in Major League Baseball. But do you think they're the most comfortable division winner prediction right now?
I would say no. I'll go hot take and I'll say the Cubs. I just don't like any of those teams. And it's more of a I don't like the Cubs better than the Yankees. I just don't like the rest of the teams in the Central where I could see, Boston kind of figuring this thing out pitching wise, making a move, or maybe the Blue Jays catching fire. I don't think it's going to happen, but I trust those teams more than I trust the teams in the Central.
Yeah. All right. I'm good for today. You good?
I'm great. Can't wait for tonight. It's going to be an epic night here in New York and excited to watch it.
Cannot wait. Absolutely excited. We'll be back Monday morning or Tuesday morning to recap this whole weekend. Hopefully the Knicks are in the conference final at that point. Need a big win tonight. Big night in New York sports. Hope everybody enjoys it. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Be well and enjoy some good baseball. We'll see you next week for episode 50 of the Boroughs.